What the video is about. An investigation into how 4 parent corporations control every major residential heat pump brand an American homeowner would compare. Why the efficiency numbers on manufacturer spec sheets do not reflect real-world performance. How the contractor markup structure meant your federal subsidy was offsetting an inflated price, rather than reducing a fair one. And which 3 heat pump brands HVAC professionals actually install when spending their own money. The video closes with one specific verification step that costs nothing and takes 4 minutes. Style of talking. Dry investigative documentary. Cold, methodical, slow-building outrage. Short declarative sentences carry the key reveals. Longer sentences build context and stack evidence. No intensifiers, no dramatic language. The authority comes entirely from named sources, specific numbers, and documented corporate structures. Who this video is for: American homeowners aged 35 to 60 who have already compared efficiency ratings, gotten multiple quotes, and are preparing to commit $10,000 to $25,000 to a new heat pump system. They believe their research was thorough. This video is for the layer those searches never reached. Think of viewers already searching. Best heat pump brand 2026. Carrier versus Trane. Most reliable heat pump. Heat pump buying guide. Key facts covered. 4 parent corporations: Carrier Global, Trane Technologies, Daikin Industries, and Ream Paloma own every major residential HVAC brand an American homeowner would compare. Lennox International is the one independent. Carrier Global owns Carrier, Bryant, Day and Night, Payne, Heil, Tempstar, Comfortmaker, and Arcoair through its 1999 acquisition of International Comfort Products. Trane Technologies owns Trane and American Standard on the same engineering platform. Daikin owns Goodman and Amana, alongside a separate Daikin-branded product line that is a different product. Ream Paloma absorbed Maytag HVAC, Frigidaire HVAC, and Gibson in 2024. Old HSPF efficiency ratings overstated real-world performance by approximately 15%. The Department of Energy corrected the standard in 2023 to HSPF 2, conversion factor 0.85. Most quotes still use the inflated figure. The largest field study ever conducted monitored 1,023 real heat pumps across 10 countries for 2 years. 17% of air source units failed their own certified efficiency standards under real operating conditions. Performance gap between lowest and highest performing units of the same type, a factor of 2 to 3. Analysis of on-site inspection records, cited by the ETH Zurich research team, found that 57% of installed systems have their heating curve set too high. A 1 degree Celsius reduction improves seasonal efficiency by an average of 2.61% at no cost. A 2022 study published in Energy Policy, analyzing 297 Swiss households with heat pumps, found that a single optimization visit produced average savings of 1,805 kilowatt hours per year, 15.2% of annual consumption. Contractor equipment. Markup runs 20 to 100% above distributor cost. The Federal Section 25C. Heat pump tax credit was terminated December 31st, 2025, 7 years early. The subsidy math. A $2,000 credit against a $12,000 inflated quote is 17%, Against an $8,000 actual cost, it is 25%. 3 heat pumps, Mitsubishi H2i for cold climates, Daikin branded for ducted systems, Bosch for moderate climates. 1 free action before signing. Request the AHRI certificate number for the specific unit and coil combination, and verify it in the public AHRI Certified Products Directory. 4 parent corporations own every major heat pump brand an American homeowner would compare. The contractor quoting you this week knows which product line earns him the most margin per install. And yet, most people who spend a year doing their research will walk into that appointment without knowing either of those facts. We are going to expose the corporate structure behind the American heat pump market, reveal the efficiency number that has never been measured in a real house, and show you the 3 units that HVAC professionals install when they are spending their own money. If you have been getting quotes recently, you have probably seen names like Carrier, Trane, and Lennox alongside less familiar names like Bryant, American Standard, and Heil. They look like rival companies competing for your business, each with independent engineering and separate quality standards. They are not rivals. 4 parent corporations control every major brand an American homeowner would compare. Carrier Global, publicly traded in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, owns Carrier, Bryant, Day and Night, Payne, and through its 1999 acquisition of a company called International Comfort Products, 6 more regional brands: Heil, Tempstar, Comfortmaker, ArcoAir, KeepRight, and AirQuest. A Carrier badge and a Heil badge on the same quote can trace their compressor to the same manufacturing facility in Lewisburg, Tennessee. The brand on the label reflects which dealer network the unit flows through, not the product inside it. Trane Technologies owns Trane and American Standard on the same engineering platform from the same facilities. When independent contractors describe the difference to a homeowner, they use the same 2 words: different label. Daikin Industries of Japan, the largest HVAC manufacturer in the world, owns Goodman Manufacturing and Amana, alongside a separate Daikin-branded product line. That distinction between a Daikin-branded unit and a Goodman unit from the same parent company is the one that matters most to your purchase decision. We will come back to it. Rheem, owned by Japan's Paloma Holdings, absorbed the entire Nordyne brand family in 2024. Maytag HVAC, Frigidaire HVAC, and Gibson are now in the same corporate structure as Rheem and Ruud. When independent HVAC contractors are asked which brand they installed in their own home, the answer is almost never Carrier, almost never Trane. The gap between the brand they quote most frequently and the brand they trust with their own house is the gap this investigation is about. The one major independent brand, Lennox International, headquartered in Marshalltown, Iowa, with its own engineering and no corporate twin, wearing the same internals under a different name. The efficiency rating on every spec sheet your contractor handed you was measured under conditions that do not exist in any real house. HSPF, Heating Seasonal Performance Factor, was the standard metric for heat pump heating efficiency for decades. Old HSPF ratings were calculated in a laboratory using idealized duct resistance, idealized static pressure, and temperature profiles designed to favor the equipment. The Department of Energy corrected the testing standard in 2023. The updated version is called HSPF 2. The conversion factor is 0.85. A unit previously rated 9.0 HSPF is now approximately 7.65 HSPF2. 15% difference before the equipment leaves the factory. Most contractor quotes still use the older, inflated HSPF figure. Some do this deliberately because the higher number closes more sales. Most do it because the 2023 standard change created a comparison problem. Old inventory carries the inflated rating, new equipment carries the corrected one, and a homeowner, comparing both without knowing the formula, is comparing numbers that belong to different measurement systems. Your research almost certainly included at least one figure that overstated performance by 15%. But the certification to real-world gap runs further than the Department of Energy's standard update captures. In March 2025, researchers from ETH 8th Zurich's Chair of Information Management published the largest field study of residential heat pump performance ever conducted in the journal Nature Communications. They monitored sensor data from 1,023 real residential heat pumps installed in real homes across 10 countries in Central Europe. Not a test house, not a simulation. These were actual residential systems running under normal occupancy for up to 777 days each. The dataset covers 185,139 daily observations. 17% of air source units in that study failed their own factory-certified efficiency standard under real conditions. 1 in 6 systems running in a real home under real duct conditions fell below the threshold it cleared in controlled testing. The performance variance between the lowest and highest performing units of the same type at the same outdoor temperature was a factor of 2 to 3. 2 households that buy the same brand, the same model, from the same contractor can end up with systems that deliver half or double each other's real-world efficiency. The difference comes almost entirely from decisions made by the installer on day one. That study is the most comprehensive field data set on residential heat pump performance in existence. It is not mentioned in any quote you received. Here is the section that most homeowners never reach. Analysis of on-site inspection records, cited by the ETH Zurich research team, found that 57% of installed systems have their heating curve set too high. The heating curve is a commissioning parameter the installer configures on the day the system starts running. It controls the temperature of the water the heat pump delivers at each outdoor temperature. Set it too high, and the system operates less efficiently than it is capable of, every day of every heating season for the entire life of the unit. A 1 degree Celsius reduction in the heating curve setting improves seasonal efficiency by an average of 2.61%. No new equipment, no new parts. Among the systems that failed efficiency standards in the ETH Zurich study, a single 1 degree adjustment would bring 12% of them back into compliance. A 2022 study published in Energy Policy, analyzing 297 Swiss households with heat pumps, found that after one optimization visit from an energy consultant, half achieved average annual energy savings of 1,805 kilowatt hours, a 15.2% reduction in operating cost. Not from an upgrade, from correcting configuration decisions the original installer had left behind. Follow the incentive structure and the pattern makes sense. If a system runs marginally cold, the homeowner calls back. That is an unpaid callback the installer owns. If the system runs inefficiently, the homeowner pays a higher electric bill every month and assumes That is simply how heat pumps work in winter. One outcome is the installer's liability. The other is yours, and it arrives silently. You paid $15,000 for a system that is, based on field data, almost certainly running below its rated performance. The correction may cost nothing. The installer has no financial reason to schedule the return visit. If you are finding this useful, hit subscribe. We cover the industries that price their products around the assumption that you will not look this closely. Now add the supply chain. Residential HVAC equipment moves from manufacturer to distributor to contractor. Distributors mark up 15 to 25% and will not sell to unlicensed buyers. Contractors pick up equipment at distributor pricing and mark it up again before quoting you. Service Titan, whose business management software is used across thousands of residential HVAC companies in the United States, publishes pricing guidance stating that equipment markups of 300 to 400% of wholesale cost are required to hit gross margin targets of 50 to 55%. Profitability Partners, whose 2026 analysis covered over 200 real HVAC company profit and loss statements, confirmed that installation gross margins typically run 35 to 45%. The distributor price on a standard 3-ton heat pump condenser runs $4,000 to $6,000. That unit becomes a $7,000 to $10,000 line item on a bundled residential quote. Most quotes do not separate equipment from labor, materials, and margin. There is no line that reads equipment markup. The structure is not required to be disclosed. The federal Section 25C tax credit gave homeowners 30% of installation cost up to $2,000. In 2023, 2.3 million American families claimed it. Then Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act on July 4th, 2025, and terminated the credit 7 years ahead of its scheduled 2032 expiration. Effective December 31st, 2025. Systems installed in 2026 receive no federal tax credit. Many contractor websites still reference 2032. That deadline no longer exists. And when the credit did exist, here is what the math looked like. If a contractor quoted $12,000 and $8,000 of that was equipment marked up 40% above distributor cost, your $2,000 credit was 17% of the inflated total. The same equipment at distributor pricing with labor billed separately brings the total to approximately $8,000. At $8,000, $2,000 is 25% of the real cost. Same credit, completely different result. The subsidy went somewhere. It did not go to you. The contractor secret. The title of this video is describing comes down to one question. Before signing any quote, ask every contractor, which heat pump did you install in your own house? Not which brand your company recommends, not which product line you carry. The unit running in the home where your family lives. When HVAC professionals speak outside of a sales context, in trade forums, in contractor comparison guides, where nobody is selling anything, 3 brands appear with consistency: Mitsubishi Electric, Daikin, and Bosch. Not Carrier, not Trane. That gap between what they quote most frequently and what they trust for their own homes is the practical summary of everything this video has covered. Here are the 3 units worth buying in 2026. For any homeowner in a climate where winter temperatures drop below 10 degrees Fahrenheit, the Northeast, the Upper Midwest, The Mountain States, the Mitsubishi H2i line is the documented cold climate standard. H2i stands for Hyper Heating Inverter. These units maintain rated heating capacity at outdoor temperatures as low as -13 degrees Fahrenheit. They do not fall back to electric resistance heat strips at the temperatures where conventional systems lose efficiency. That is where heating bills get expensive. Mitsubishi H2i units are sold exclusively through Diamond Elite Certified Contractors, a factory-authorized tier that filters for training and installation competence. The 12-year parts warranty is conditional on that certification and on proper documentation. When you are comparing Mitsubishi H2i quotes against standard contractor bids, you are comparing two different tiers of product and installation. Get quotes from Diamond Elite Contractors specifically before deciding the price premium is not justified. For a homeowner with existing ductwork looking to replace a central ducted system, the Daikin FET is the consistent recommendation among independent HVAC contractors. Variable speed inverter compressor, cold climate configurations available for Zone 5 and colder, solid parts distribution through Daikin's national network. The purchase instruction is specific, Daikin branded, not Goodman. The two products come from the same corporate parent. They are not the same equipment. Ask your contractor to quote both. The price difference between a Goodman and a Daikin fit from the same dealer will show you in a single number how that business views the transaction. For a homeowner in a moderate climate, the Mid-Atlantic, the South, the Pacific Coast, where heating demand is lower and ductless installation is practical, Bosch's own brand heat pump line belongs on your shortlist. European engineering and a fully modulating inverter unit. The instruction mirrors the Daikin situation. Bosch brand specifically, not York and not Coleman. As of August 2025, York and Coleman are Bosch-owned products. They are not Bosch-engineered products. A contractor quoting York and a contractor quoting Bosch are proposing two different things from the same corporate parent. Ask which product and ask why. None of these three will be the lowest quote in your stack. That is not a coincidence. That is the margin structure identifying itself. Before you sign anything, do one thing. Ask the contractor for the AHRI certificate number for the exact unit and coil combination being proposed. Not the model family, the specific matched system configuration. Take that number to the AHRI Certified Products Directory. It is free and publicly accessible. And verify the efficiency ratings the manufacturer actually submitted for third-party testing. If the certificate number on your quote does not appear in the directory, or if the efficiency figures do not match, that efficiency claim was not certified by anyone. Someone wrote it on a form. 4 minutes. No cost. It is the one data point your entire quote stack is missing. Check the parent company before comparing brands. Check the AHRI certificate number before you sign. And never underestimate the value of a contractor who will tell you without hesitation which unit he put in his own house. The same corporate structure this video has described. The consolidation, the subsidy capture, the gap between the sales pitch and what the installer recommends for his own roof, runs identically through the residential solar installation market. That investigation is coming. Subscribe so you don't miss it.